Chacho here again with a little bit of a different video for you today. One of the things that I do besides fishing is I am a trustee for and a DJ for Waiheke Community Radio, and I do a show on the weekends called Island Life. I do it once every month. A few months back I had a guest on the show, was the local fishing legend Tony Wood. Now Tony Wood is known around the island for catching huge kingfish and some pretty massive snapper too recently, but he is also the creator of a competition and pretty much now an organization, really, not an organization but kind of a movement called Moocher Hunters, which is a catch and release fishing competition, and I interviewed Tony Wood on the radio. So today's video is going to be, I'm going to play that recording of Tony, and I have a couple of shots from his Instagram page of fish that he's caught and other people who are in the Moocher Hunters. If you're interested more in finding out more about the Moocher Hunters, if you live on Waiheke or even in the Hauraki Gulf area, great competition, real interesting ideas around recreational fishing and sustainability. Just a great competition, pretty much run through Facebook, but listen to the interview, it tells you more about it. I'll put some links to Tony's Instagram page and his YouTube channel. He's got some great videos on there that you should definitely check out. So yeah, different video like I said, and hopefully I haven't been out for a little while, but hoping to get out soon, and because there's some big fish out there at the moment, and get onto it. So thanks for listening. Make sure you subscribe if you want to stay up to date on more videos that I'm making, and yeah, catch you again. But I got my next guest here is Mr. Tony Wood, and we're going to be talking about the Moocher Hunters. What would you call it, Tony? What is it, a club? Is it an organization?
Well, it sort of started as a comp, but I guess now it's sort of it's a group of keen fishers,
like-minded. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about this. So this was your idea, presumably, and how long ago did it start, and what was your original kind of motivation for entering into this thing?
Yeah, so it was sort of my baby. At the start, basically I'd been to my first sort of traditional fishing comps. You go out there, you catch the heaviest fish, you come back and you weigh them, and I really enjoyed them. I really enjoyed the sort of competitive nature of it. But back at the weigh-ins, when you see the sort of big mound of dead fish in the end, some beautiful big snapper and kingies, I kind of felt like a bit of a shame, having to keep all those fish or just for the sake of a prize. So it was after a few of those that I thought, surely there's another way of doing this, where you can still have the competitive edge, but that you can do it a bit more sort of sustainably, and that's where it sort of came about, really.
So how long ago was when was the first year that you ran the?
So the first season was 2011, but it had sort of been brewing a little bit before that.
Yeah.
It was just trying to figure out how to go about doing it so that it sort of all worked well,
And so how is this competition different than those competitions? What's the kind of thrust of the Moochers, for those who don't know?
Yeah, so it's all about catch and release, and basically it's all video based. So competitors will, you'll catch your fish, and then you start recording, and it's all based on measurement. So we have these sort of big moocher mats. They're like big measuring mats. So you catch your fish, you put it on the mat, video's going, and then you've got to record it, releasing the fish as well. So it's sort of, there's no ifs or buts whether the fish was released.
Yep.
As opposed to some other comps out there that are now based around length, but it's around a photo. So sort of there's no proof whether it's gone back or not.
So this seems to coincide with the social media as well, right? I mean, that's kind of, you run the competition essentially through Facebook, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, Facebook's been the perfect platform, really, because, well, everyone's now on it, young and old, and so, and it's so easy now to post videos up, and, people are quite clued up, with their phones these days. Certainly at the start, I mean, there were a few hiccups at the start because of the quality of the videos on phones, and there were some pretty dodgy, sort of blurry videos that went on,
pixelated kingies.
Or videos going up of just guys just cursing because they're just mucking around with their phones and things are upside down. But no, it's people have sort of really got the hang of it now, and it's almost just become just a part of people's fishing trips. You're not only worried about your bait and your burley and all the sort of bits of fishing kit. You've got to have your Moocher mat.
Yep.
And everyone's got their phone, so you're sort of set to go, really.
Yeah. So you've got a couple of different categories. Mostly you're targeting the species around here, aren't you? Snapper and kingies. Is it just Waiheke based, or what?
So at this stage, it's anywhere in the Hauraki Gulf.
Okay.
So most of the fishers are from Waiheke, but we've sort of branched out a bit now. There's quite a big crew over on Great Barrier.
Mm-hmm.
Guys over Coromandel, and then based in town as well. So it's mostly local guys that are into it.
And what's the kind of, what sort of lengths of fish are we looking at for that? What are you going to get to win this thing?
Wow.
It runs for a while, doesn't it?
Yeah, it goes, so it starts sort of, this year it started 1st of November and it runs through to the end of March. Some of the fish, at the moment, the leading snapper is 82 centimetres, which is an absolute monster of a fish. That was caught over on Great Barrier. But the winning fish in the past, Casey at Ox Tackle, he's been our champion twice now.
Right.
And both of his fish were over 80 centimetres snapper. So, there's some awesome fish that when you go back and you look on, you sort of scroll through Facebook and you look at some of the fish that have been released over the years. It's pretty awesome, really, knowing that they're all sort of back out there doing their thing.
Yeah, so do you? Recently we've had a report sort of came out recently about recreational fishermen. Particularly, I'm not sure if it was just in the Hauraki Gulf, and there was some sort of people saying you should keep all the little ones, and there's a variety of sort of different theories out there about how we should keep fishing sustainable. What do you think about the impact of recreational fishers on the fish stocks in the Gulf? Is that something that this, do you think these kind of competitions are contributing to? Should we sort of be doing more things like this, you think, or?
Yeah, well, over the years, I've been approached by people, with sort of different sides to the debate, because obviously we're focusing on releasing fish that are, our sort of minimum length is 50 centimetres for snapper.
Right, yeah.
So anything over that, we're aiming to release.
Yeah.
And there's, people that have sort of messaged me saying, it's those middle fish that are the most productive breeders, whereas, the much larger ones that, they think they become sort of sterile.
Right.
But I guess what I say back to them is that, there's you can't argue with more fish in the ocean. And those larger fish play a really important role, managing, the kinner stocks and whatnot. We don't think we're the answer to recreational fishing and sustainability, but we're trying to do our part.
Yeah.
And part of what we do is we really try and promote good practice with releasing a fish, really trying to sort of make sure guys are using big circle hooks. Because a lot of recreational fishermen use sort of traditional J-style hooks and often too small.
Okay.
And the old J-style hooks, when a fish swallows them, that's just about done and dusted, really.
Yeah.
Whereas these big circle hooks, 9 times out of 10, they hook them in the corner of the mouth.
Yep.
Not as much damage is done.
Yep.
Things like using a rubber landing net.
Yep.
As opposed to the old sort of nylon ones, or just sort of ripping it in.
Yeah.
And then just sort of, looking after your fish, holding it properly.
Yeah.
So we're really sort of trying to promote not just releasing fish, but doing it well. Making sure that we're doing the most to ensure that the fish actually survive afterwards.
Yep.
Another big one is well, one that we're sort of debating at the moment is fish that suffer barotrauma. You know, when they sort of come in, they've got big blowing stomachs out their mouths and whatnot, and you know, how to go about catching these fish and releasing them safely. So, you know, at the moment we're sort of debating whether we sort of put a ban on fishing at a certain depth, because it seems the deeper you go, the more likely they are to sort of expand.
Right. This is essentially like the fish bends, isn't it? If they come up too fast.
Yeah.
Thing.
And so, I mean, there's people have different tactics of sort of releasing those fish, but that's one that we're still trying to sort of work out at the moment.
Yeah.
But most of us are fishing really sort of shallow water, and it doesn't seem to be a huge issue.
Right.
Yeah, and then the other thing we're doing is we're actually, like, we've opened up a new category which is called Critter Collector.
Yep.
And that's based. There's a long list of species, and each one's got a certain number of points allocated towards it.
Yep.
You know this yourself because you're after a flounder.
There's a flounder on there?
There is a flounder. That's worth 40
And
points.
we should mention you have to catch everything on a rod and a reel, so
Yeah, so there's no nets. There's no.
can't really release a flounder that you've stabbed.
No,
with
there's no dynamite or spears.
spears. Yeah.
So we're trying to sort of, you know, open up a broader sort of angling world, you know, because most people go out and they target kingfish, kahawai, you know, snapper, trevally.
Yeah.
But, you know, with this new category, you know, you're targeting things like flounder, like gurnard, mullet, all sorts of different fish. So you sort of, you know, you're testing yourself in, you know, up against other sort of species. Which has made it a bit more interesting too.
Yeah. And you've also got a team. There's a team element too. There's an individual element, and there's also a team element I see going at the moment, which seems to be quite competitive. Yeah,
it is good. It definitely gets the banter going. There's teams of 3, and the way the team hunt works is over the season, it's each fisherman's longest fish, and then the team of 3's fish are combined basically to give an overall score. And we've sort of added to that. We've now got a fortnightly comp within a comp. It's getting a bit complicated there. So you're sort of battling one other team for an extra centimetre, which is proving quite funny, really. Yeah.
So, and the competition runs until March. Now, at the end, I suppose you have some kind of a prize giving for this thing, or is there prizes involved? I mean, I know you've got some sponsors as well on the mat.
We do have some sponsors, and we've got guys that have been with us from the start, like Casey at Ox Tackle. Yeah. But lots of local sort of businesses putting money forward and fishing gear forward. And after each season, we usually get together for a barbecue, and it's kept fairly small at the moment. But there's certainly prizes involved. But prizes aside, it's more about just, you know, people just want to win Moocher Hunters. They just want that sort of
it's the
don't know what you call it. The reputation,
notoriety.
And there's no hiding on Facebook with the videos. You know, there's no sort of tall tales and people showing you with hand signals how big fish are. It's right there on the video.
Okay. So any sort of plans for the future or the Moochers, or just going to keep going as it is, or?
Yeah, well, we're sort of ticking along, and you know, it's growing. It's certainly grown from the first season, and you know, the Facebook page now, we've got sort of over 600 members, and the numbers of actual registered fishers has grown. You know, so it hasn't really blown up at this stage, but you know, moving forward, I do want to sort of, you know, maybe look at going all across the country. Now that, you know, it's sort of the format of the competition, we know that it works. You know, we've sort of ironed out any of the initial sort of hiccups, and we know that it works. And so now it's just a case of looking to sort of grow it a bit more.
And if people want to get involved and see what's going on, they're a little bit late for this year's competition, but they can still follow along. You must have a few watchers on the group as well.
There's lots of people that just sort of watch just out of interest.
How do people find you?
So we're on Facebook. So if you just type in Moocher Hunters, and it's MOOCHER. So Moocher Hunters, and just join the group, and then you can just see, you know, you can be up to date with fish that are posted and news that's happening.
Yep.
It's not too late to enter.
Yeah.
You can actually, the measuring mats are sort of the last few remaining ones.
Yeah.
But I guess first in, first serve.
Yeah.
But yeah, just getting on Facebook, joining the group. If you're on Instagram,
Yep.
we're sort of trying to
Get that going.
broaden with the
Oh, and you've got a great YouTube channel as well for
Yep. Actually YouTube channel. Yeah, you can go back and watch some of the videos of the past. Some good ones on there.
Yeah, and there's a few other of the moochers who have their own channels as well. Yeah, I did watch a video by Ox the other day. It was just ridiculous, man. I was like, he must have caught like 35 fish in one video of something stupid.
Yeah.
All right, well, that sounds really good. If you are interested, Facebook's probably the best one, for just chuck Moocher Hunters, Moocher, into the search box there, and it usually seems to come up. Anything else you got for us? You going to go out today, or?
Well, my kids have been nagging me to go for a trip in the morning, so
Yeah.
We might be doing that, I think.
An early morning trip with Dad.
I don't think they realise
How early
Dad goes fishing.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
They might be talking too soon.
All right. Great. Hey, that was Tony Wood. Thanks, Tony, for coming in, and good luck on the competition.
No problem, and good luck with catching your flounder.
Yeah,
Brett.
the flounder. Anyone out there got any tips about how to catch it with the rod, you can give us a call in here. All right, we're going to play another track here. This is a track by the Strokes called You Only Live Once Unless You're a Snapper, and hopefully you'll live a few more times.